Hello and welcome. My name is Tim Mikilashvili, a CEO and co-founder of Amadev Pharma and host of the 2024 Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics. I'm here joined today with my distinguished expert judges and friends who are going to talk to us about why they are participating in this event and their suggestions for those of you who may have heard about this event if you work in medical affairs or in healthcare and may be considering to attend and compete. So ask your questions, post your comments. We're live now on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. It's a great opportunity and a very rare one, I might add, in their busy schedules. Thank you all. I'd like to just go around the room and just make brief introductions, please, just to everyone. Please. And Liz, go ahead.
Sure. Sure. Well, first of all, Tim, thanks so much for having me and us here today. Liz Delgado, founder of Seek Medical Affairs, and I'm going to be one of the expert judges in this, my second year as a judge in this great Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics. And I'm really happy to be here and look forward to meeting many people. With that, I guess I'll pass it over to Saeed.
Yes, it's a privilege to be here. I'm Saeed Babai. I'm the managing director for Ameritat Investment, where we do angel investing and due diligence and mentorship for a lot of small companies, and that's why I'm here. I'm also a professor of entrepreneurship at York University Schulich Business School, and I mentioned I help a lot of accelerator for fundraising, for strategic, and needed on the operation level. So pass it on to Don.
Thank you very much, Saeed and Liz, for that introduction. Obviously, both of you have had prior experiences. This is my first opportunity to participate here. So we're coming in before or just about the Paralympics, just after the Summer Olympics and before the Winter Olympics. It's great to participate in this. I wanted to participate because, one, the Olympics, but also just as we were discussing earlier, give something back to medical affairs. Knowing fully well that there's so much innovation happening in all areas of healthcare, life sciences, and medicine, trying to find out what the next innovation is going to be in medical affairs is critical. It's critical for anyone who's been in the field before, even for new people who are coming on to onto medical affairs. Medical affairs is one of those areas where innovation comes easy because you're always in between something or the other. It's not fully R&D, but there's some R&D involved in it. It's not fully commercial, but you can't commercialize without really spreading the news, the knowledge and information about your product and your services. So it's a really unique area. And I love being in medical affairs. I happen to be transitioning now. I used to work for Takeda in Boston, in Massachusetts. I'm relocating to the United Kingdom, and I'll be taking that medical affairs expertise and knowledge to Europe and United Kingdom, hoping to work there as well. So with that, I'll pass it on to Rashad. And Rashad, over to you.
Thank you. Rashad Massoud. I'm the CEO of Rashad Massoud Associates, and I'm an instructor in healthcare improvement at Harvard Chan School of Public Health. It's a pleasure to be here with you. This is my second year in the Innovation Olympics, and I'm thrilled to be presenting. This year we have this amazing debate that I hope you will participate in, as well as being a judge on the Innovation Olympics. Tim, thank you for the invitation, and I look forward to working with colleagues, Liz, Saeed, and Don on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So I think, as you have probably noticed, we're adding on to the vast expertise amongst our expert judges. And in the hope that the kinds of submissions we receive are going to connect some of those dots and those blind spots or questions that people may have about what is this function? What is this multidimensional specialty of medical affairs? And as you see from our judges, and we have more judges as well, who are also going to be joining us as well. We have a very diverse experience of investors, entrepreneurs, professors of entrepreneurship, as you heard, decades of experience leading medical teams, commercial experience. In fact, one of our judges actually ran 1086 in his career in the 100-meter dash, which at one point would have been one of the winning times in the Olympics some decades ago, by the way. And his name is Steve Royal. He's from Australia. So this is a global event. But I want to ask you who you think should register. Should it be someone working in medical affairs, or could it be somebody else, for example? What are your opinions on that? And and the role of growing the awareness and also the quality of the impact that medical affairs delivers in our healthcare community. Who should register to sign up for those who are watching?
Yeah, well, if others don't mind, I'll jump in and I say this is absolutely, although it is in the spirit of medical affairs and talking about it and advancing it, I do think that it's much broader than that. And I think it's open, right, to basically anybody with a passion for improving patient outcomes and has innovative ideas. I think this is a wonderful and kind of a unique forum for them to come and to kind of share these ideas and to be able to, network and collaborate and refine their ideas. And so I think it could be, yes, of course, it could be people from industry, but it could be people in health systems. It could be solution providers. It could be those kind of even newer, right? Residents and students. So I think it is, open for many diverse type of ideas that, again, are trying to, tackle some of the gaps that we have in healthcare and kind of, evolving that, pushing that forward.
Yeah. Anyone else? Rashad, I know as a visiting faculty of Harvard T-Chan School of Public Health. Last year, when you chaired a session, you talked about a lot of your experiences and global healthcare quality improvement.
I think it attracts a broad audience, and the topics that I see on the agenda are applicable not just to medical affairs, but to many other areas of health systems, as Liz said. Also, I think the types of projects that we had presented and ideas we had presented in the competition were also varied. So there's a lot there, and I think it's beyond just medical affairs.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe I can just add to what both Rashad and Liz just alluded rightfully. There is a lot of enabling technologies that can actually feed into the medical affairs. So people are thinking about those things. They know what I'm talking about. Could be sort of AI driven. A lot of med tech that is kind of a foundation of how you stratify patients, clients, that they can really benefit from the stream of medical affairs in the hands of the big players, big pharma. So I think we want to encourage those folks that they have technologies, whether it's a minimal viral product or the idea stage. Here, we're really open to really provide our 2 cents and a feedback on what sort of may have a commercial intake and integration to the current health system. So let's really also think in that context that does my technology and idea can fit into the medical affairs so others can very rightfully benefit. And we have enough qualified individuals that can really tell you much better that how is it fit in the medical affair, which is a theme of this year.
Yep. Yes. So, and the slogan this year, discover new power in medical decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Describing this multidimensional function as not only a supportive function, but one that ultimately guides and helps improve healthcare decisions as well. So I will talk about the event categories, but Don, any of your comments, who are you looking forward to seeing compete?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to go after Liz, Saeed, and Rashad and add anything new to that. But I'll paraphrase what they've said in a couple of words. If you're patient-centric, meaning you have something that impacts or will eventually impact the patient, then you should be involved. whether you're providing the finance, whether you're providing the basic science, whether you're providing the middle life cycle management or the end of life cycle, this is for you. You should be participating here because we want your views, your knowledge, your innovation. We want them in this competition to help drive medical affairs forwards. I think we all agree that medical affairs is an essential component of delivering healthcare, whether it's a product, a device, a combo to our patients. If you want that improved patient outcome, then you have to participate. And so for me, that's where I'll try and encapsulate it and borrowing from what my colleagues have said here, of who should be participating.
Yeah, great. So here are the event categories. We had 6 events last year. So as you're watching this recording here, think about med tech. Think about the comments you just heard from our judges, impacting patient outcomes in many different ways. Even if you are a patient advocate, for example, and you've worked with medical affairs, some medical affairs organizations now have even a dedicated departments, patient advocacy groups, medical insights, and then scientific communication, right? So these are the 4 categories in which we'll be competing. And now we heard from the judges in terms of their call for competitors. Formally, we're looking for not just necessarily completed proposals, but a draft or proposal as well. Can be a position statement, something that you may not have time to present in your organization. Get the approval from your organization, whether you're a consultant, you're an employee, or you've ever worked with medical affairs, right? Okay. With current or previous work experience in various different capacities. Okay. So these are some of our entry criteria. Okay. Because we're trying to understand how to discover our purpose and also to improve our collaboration with all the key internal decision makers as well as external decision makers. And that's evolving, I think very rapidly within medical affairs. Right. Okay. Now, the agenda. Rashad, you talked about agenda and the mentorship and the learning that takes place. I thought I'd maybe share some of the topics that we'll be talking about. Okay, and so here's one. I'm going to share it right now. Just make sure to bring I want to bring your attention to this here. Okay, this is one of our live debates, one of the topics that we'll be discussing that we're looking forward to with great anticipation, because the new format, it's not just an expert panel keynote, but it's a very interesting debate. So Rashad, maybe you can preview this presentation
With pleasure.
without giving too much away.
Oh, it's such a big topic, so whatever I say won't give it away. The idea, a lot of us, when we go through school, we get brought up with this notion that randomized controlled trials are the end-all, be-all of all research and learning. And I've, as somebody who's an implementer in the field, I've gotten to realize that, not everything lends itself to a randomized controlled trial. And even if we tried very hard to make it fit, the result is often not what we want. And in fact, the result is sometimes just erroneous. And that's because even though RCTs have a huge place in our world, they do tell us a lot. They're not the end-all, be-all. And I think that message is something that we want to talk about. When are they the right type of research method, and when are they not the right type of research method, and what other types of research are more suitable for answering other questions. And so we have a terrific debate that's going to happen where Sana, who is a leading researcher in cancer research, really focusing on a lot of the trials that we all know about, and myself as an improver, working in a very different arena. And of course, somebody who combines both of us being both areas of knowledge, and that is Suzanne as the chairperson working through this session with us. So I'm looking forward to it very much, and I hope that participants will come not to listen but to participate. We have equal time from the participants to be contributing their thoughts, and as I said in my announcement, also changing their thoughts, because I hope that this session will make people rethink some of the things that we just assumed to be the case.
Yeah, great. So I'm previewing also the interface, the platform that we'll be using, which many of you may be familiar with, and that's the Whova platform, which a lot of scientific conferences use. And this is the third year that we'll be communicating in this platform, where we'll have many different polls in a very immersive Olympic experience, if you will, right? Which you see here. We have a number of sponsors as well, such as the Medical Affairs Professional Society, Clinical Mind, and Eversana this year. And we're looking forward to really continuing on that mentorship as well. So I want to share some of the other topics as well, while I'm pulling up this our platform. Okay, and so here are just some of the topics. Okay. Creative problem-solving techniques by medical affairs to directly improve medical decisions. The times may be somewhat changing as we're finalizing our agenda, but I want the viewers now to be familiar with some of the topics if they don't choose to compete, if they want to attend. And there was a lot of engagement and communication that took place, articles that we shared, some of the latest reports from various different healthcare sources. We are going to have a world record holder, one of the longest world record holders in the long jump, Bob Beamon, who has reinvented himself. He was actually at the Paris Olympics, so he'll share some of his insights. In fact, he started the track and field competition in Paris. He had the honor. He's now become a musician. He's changed his career quite several times, and he's going to talk about how he's found that right rhythm and break down the jumps that he's made throughout his life and his career as well. We talked about the live debate, which actually is at 11 o'clock. So it is going to be at 11 o'clock, not 12, Rashad, as we've already posted it publicly. We will also hear from various different leaders in medical affairs, as well as from R&D, share some of their insights on how decision-driven analytics need to be understood and what impact they have on cross-functional collaboration at the early stage, even in the preclinical stage. And we'll talk about innovative ways to lead and grow business impact. We'll have an update in health economics in light of the IRA, right, on the emerging needs to launch a product in pharma and ensure patient access. Because even as our slogan may change every year, what remains constant is the focus of this Innovation Olympics on three areas: on access, continuity, and quality of healthcare. How can we, and the ideas that we share, advance those three characteristics that are so critical in healthcare? We'll have an update from a from a surgeon, a cardiac surgeon, an expert in machine learning as well, and also previous national medical director who's worked at healthcare plans in order to optimize the use of healthcare resources. In this session on harnessing the power of machine learning in medical affairs, and we'll kind of take a step back and look at how to solve problems and how to stimulate adaptive performance in organizations in order to accelerate innovation from organizational change experts who are going to be facilitating that session. And then we'll finish off with competitor introductions and sponsors who are going to just preview both their ideas and their organizations. So that's in essence just a preview, a sneak peek into the agenda. Now, I want to ask all of you to put yourselves in the shoes of the competitors, including the trial winners, the automatic trial winners who have now qualified for this event. All right, and what are some suggestions you have for them in terms of how to get the biggest impact from this event and how to succeed ultimately? What are some of your suggestions? Anybody want to start?
I can start. I will say that initiate with a very clear value proposition. Time is very limited. We're evaluating opportunities in a very wide range of categories, right? And then don't expect your audience is going to be very knowledgeable in terms of what you're really thinking, and you may have a very deep expertise, because you want to appeal to as many as possible and not necessarily sort of appealing to the expert judges. Your audience is a global scale. That's why it's an Olympic trial. So as such, be very concise and clear in a relatively short amount of time that is allocated. What problem you're trying to solve, and then what is your sort of a solution, what's your magic sauce, and what's the market opportunity, and how you're really changing the landscape, and what's the underlying visions that you have. How will you change the world? And that message, it may seem very easy to tell when it's very precise, but we're here prior to the formal launch of this one to really assist and sort of kind of clean up and give some of our suggestions that how you can best, appeal to the audience that hopefully is going to reach out and say, hey, listen, I love what you say. I can actually help, or you can help our organization as such. I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
So I can piggyback on that and just say, following along the same lines. I mean, in the Olympics, you've seen old events that are now discontinued, and you've seen new events come in. I mean, I gather breakdancing was actually an event this year.
Wow.
So bring it on is what we're saying to you. Bring on those new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of doing things. Bring them and get input in how to innovate on them, how to move them on to the next stage. Because 2, 3, 4, 10 years from now, current events that are in the Olympics may not be there, and it's your new ideas that are now going to replace that. So I really encourage you to step forward with your ideas and at least give them an airing. You never know where they could end.
Yeah. If I may just add something to that, Don. I think what your comments triggered there is what differentiates, I think, the spirit of this event, which is this is not the place where you should expect us to just simply pat ourselves on the back and say how great we are and how medical affairs, yes, does a lot of great things, but we're going to take a more reflective look, self-reflective look, and see what can we improve, what really matters, how can we improve our ultimate purpose so that people understand what medical affairs does, and so that we can improve our role in all patient as well as business outcomes. Because those events and how we are competing against AI, against technology, which also guides decisions, is changing. To your point, also, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Rashad, Liz, any other tips and advice?
I would probably, again, right, Don, I'm in your position now. You guys have covered it pretty well. I would say on top of really, really being able to articulate what problem it is that you're trying to solve, as Saeed already said, it is also be ready to really defend your idea and make sure you're really thinking holistically. You can have a really good idea, and I don't want to squash any idea early on. That is not the intent of this comment.
Right.
But as
Yeah.
you're thinking of the idea, right, constantly be checking yourself. Is this actually feasible? Is this going to really, what impact am I really trying to make? How is this even going to be scalable at some point? What would the costs be to that? I want people to really think of their idea as they're going along and kind of making sure that they're kind of checking some of those boxes along the way. And if they don't have the answer, right, well, this is a great forum of people that could give them feedback, could give them advice, or ask them questions to help them think it through. So I would say articulate well, defend your idea, think about it holistically, and then take advantage of the people that are here, right, to really be able to evolve and iterate that idea. Be flexible to taking that feedback.
Yeah. What I've just displayed now is just some of the Olympic trials which were held in April. And these are some of the ideas that have now been entered into our Olympics, to our main event, which takes place October 1st through the 16th. Not all of them are actually, not all of the ones that we have already gotten are listed here, because since the trials, we've gotten other medical affairs employees. In fact, those early in their career who have already submitted their ideas. But here, as you can see, there's a very diverse group of ideas, that some of which came from medical affairs, but others came from med tech, companies or various different types of healthcare services, right, via telemedicine to address problems in antimicrobial multi-drug resistance, for example, a rare disease project, right, with a continuous care and support program from Rwanda for the first time this year. We've had global competitors, right, submit ideas, and this year we have some new ones from Rwanda, from Greece, for the first time. So the event is expanding, has a global, I think, impact, and the format. I think we should probably make just a few comments very quickly on the format. It takes place over 16 days, which is kind of reminiscent of the 16 Days of Glory, a film by Bud Greenspan that was very famous, that I remember, that summarized the highlights for the event, where if you want to continue that spirit, we from year to year, and also from the Paris Olympics, right, we're carrying the torch of innovation in medical affairs, really. A little bit about the format, and is that, yes, it's the first day is going to be packed with a lot of learning, right? We're going to have keynotes, we're going to have expert panels, and one of the presentations is a live debate, as you heard, as well as a 15-minute quick kind of a presentation by someone who works in R&D, by a leader and an entrepreneur, Danielle Orozco-Cosio, who'll break down the impact of decision-driven analytics, as I mentioned. But throughout the first week, all of you competitors will be able to add your presentations to the agenda, grab the attention of judges whom you see here, as well as others, because you'll be able to get their feedback in real time via comments on your own at your own pace. And the voting takes place after the first week of October 4th, where there will be some eliminations. And then the same thing happens in the second week before we advance to the semifinals and finals, which will be synchronous. So we switch from asynchronous competition, right, to synchronous competition through live stream debates with prizes as well, $1,000. Okay. So I want to ask Rashad, I don't know if you had any other comments there as we were going around. I don't know. Anything else you want to add?
But one observation, having participated last, one of the things that I saw happen is that the contestants, essentially, as they were going through the stages, they were getting ideas and they were improving their innovation as they were working through it. And I also interacted with a couple of them after the Innovation Olympics, and they used that input in order to continue to improve their innovation. So I think it's also an opportunity, even if you're not quite ready, even if you're not sure, it's an opportunity to improve what you're working.
Yeah, and the other also interesting observation in terms of the probability of success is that in the first year, in 2022, that we had this event, there is somebody who was starting at number 4 ended up actually edging out his competition and winning the overall prize. Last year, we had somebody who actually maintained the lead throughout the entire competition, right? Which is very difficult to do. This year, what we're doing differently is we're actually dividing up the prizes by each event rather than having one overall winner, in order to make the competition more evenly distributed, right, and fairly evaluated, right? And so I'm looking forward to everyone's competition ideas. I want to share some highlights. I've compiled a video from previous judges from previous events, as well as some competitors, and I want to show this quick preview, a 3-minute preview here, before any final comments from any of you that this video may trigger. Okay, those of you who are here. So here goes.
So, Tim, I'd like to start with a quote because it's just what I like to do. And this morning we're going to talk about, we'll use Victor Hugo. And one of his quotes is that there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Over my 30 years in the industry, medical affairs has evolved at an ever increasing rate. With COVID, we saw industry responses that were extremely rapid. And there were enforced and accelerated changes, in the ways that we worked. We're also entering into an era of personalized medicine, genetic and cellular therapies, and the development of therapies for rare and even ultra rare diseases. And all of these changes present real challenges for medical affairs, but more importantly, I think they present a whole lot of opportunities for us as well. And I think the need for medical affairs at this point in time to innovate and communicate has really never been greater. Victor Hugo also said, initiative is doing the right thing without being told. And I was thinking about these Olympics, and I sort of realized that, they're really an idea whose time has come, coupled with the initiative to create this event. And in some ways, what you've created, Tim, is a love child of 2 of his quotes. I think we've got the right thing at the right time.
Hi, Tim. Apologies for my absence at the closing ceremony. Apart from time zone challenges inherent in living in Australia, I actually will be on a plane. I really wanted to leave a message for you and all the participants. Firstly, as I said to you when you began on this adventure, this is a great thing that you're doing for medical affairs. There's nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come, and the fastest way to innovate is at the intersection of different disciplines, where disparate ideas can cross-pollinate. The bringing together of medical affairs and sport was a flash of inspiration. And when I see the engagement that has occurred during these Innovation Olympics, it was obviously inspirational. To the participants, spectators and judges, congratulations on the effort that you have put in to make this Olympics successful. The enthusiasm that's been shown makes me feel very bullish and excited for the future of medical affairs. Finally, Tim, thank you for letting me participate as a judge, and I want to wish all of our finalists the best of luck.
You mute. Yeah.
So that brought back lots of memories, and I'll post the entire video. There was only the first 3 minutes of it. You'll hear our 5-time Olympic gold medalist also talk about his experience, as well as Noor Lababidi, who is one of our competitors, talk about what it meant to them. And I look forward to everyone registering. Okay, I'll put the link here, but I want to ask for any final comments from any of you.
So, Tim, I just wanted, sorry, Syed, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Quickly, Tim, just remind those that are watching either live or watching the recorded broadcast whether they can still submit their entries for the competition, and just when they should make themselves available to participate in this great event.
Yes, you can. Thank you, Don, for that reminder. So submissions are still open, okay, until October 1st, right down to the wire, right down to the first day, the opening ceremony. So please go to the comment on this video once you see it. Follow Amadea Pharma and connect with us as well. You'll see all the details. Yeah. Great. There's still some time, a little bit over a month, as the competition will begin. So, thank you, Saeed. Anyone?
Yeah, I just want to share one notion that I have been in a similar situation in a judging on a global scale, where participants are hesitant come forward with sharing their ideas when it's an early stage. They feel that they don't have a protection in terms of the patents and so forth. So I can't really 100% guarantee and assure in a public domain that some of your ideas may not be, unfortunately, utilized without your consent and all that. But if you look at the pros and cons, I will say you get a lot more benefit by sharing your ideas and getting connected. Ideas are great. We're not missing that. But I think at the end of the day, it comes to connectivity and the execution of your idea. And in order for you to execute on your great idea, you really need sort of a buy-in from stakeholders. And that's hopefully this really provides you with that connection that you can take and you can implement your ideas. So here, maybe there is not a need to talk about the sort of the secret sauce or the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the high level. I just want to address that if that becomes a concern, then we can't 100% assure you, but based on my experience, it's better to share and to get something positive out of it than really keeping to yourself, being very reserved, that your ideas would never get anywhere and you're the only one knew about it.
Yeah. Thank you. And there is a waiver that you will, legal waiver that you will sign once you register. Right. Okay. But which will explicitly state, your rights, the fact that you will own all the intellectual rights to your ideas that you share. But of course, there's risk with that, right? Because others will be aware with it. But you don't really innovate without, I think, having some courage. Innovation requires some courage. That's right. What I'm taking away from Saeed's comments. I'm showing just the registration. It's various different ways that you can register here, which Don reminded me earlier as well. Okay, as a competitor, as a pharma, healthcare student, a vendor, solution provider. Right. There's scholarships, which are going to be reviewed by our steering committee as well. Investors and nonprofits as well, and patient advocacy groups. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any closing comments? A final closing call to action and call for some Olympic-style competition in healthcare. Anybody else?
Liz? I'll just end it with, obviously, we are super excited and we're really encouraging those with ideas to come forward and share them in this really friendly and collaborative competition. But in addition, I want to put out a word out there. This is great for people to attend and to learn and to be part of the conversation. So even for those of you that perhaps are not even quite ready yet, again, right? Maybe you're just not ready to put yourself out there, but you have some ideas and maybe you don't know how to start and how to communicate it. This is also a great forum for you to join and to kind of learn. And maybe next year you'll go ahead and submit. So yes, this is a call for submissions, but it's also a call for those of us that really truly care of expanding and moving forward healthcare and seeing some of these innovations come, to fruition. Come and join us.
Great. It's a great way to end it. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time.
Take care.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. Thanks.